Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And LG just sent over their latest flagship, the V60 ThinQ 5G, along with the dual screen that you can get the add-on, which is actually a case along with a second display, so you can actually have two apps open at once and a bunch of different functionality added to the dual screen. Now I want to go ahead and unbox both of these, go ahead and hook them up one another, show off some of that functionality, and of course show you what comes in the box real quick with the V60 and give you a close look at this flagship from LG. I will be hanging around down in the comments, so drop a comment, let me know what you think about LG's take on a dual screen phone, if you think that's functionality you like, or maybe you like the more foldable type displays. Also, this phone looks very promising, especially when it comes to battery life. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It has a headphone jack, stereo speakers, and more to it. So let's go ahead and check out the LG V60 ThinQ. Let's begin. LG dual screen and the V60 5G unboxing. This is LG's latest flagship. Let's go ahead and open it on up. First of all, it does have a cleaning cloth on top, and you do have that V60 right here. I will go ahead and set that to the side for just a second, and we're gonna go ahead and continue with our unboxing. Looks like LG's offering a free second year limited warranty coverage. Nice to see. Pretty standard SIM and micro SD tool and your booklets. Finally, your wall adapter and USB-C to USB-C cable, which is that connection. And as you can tell, this is a fast charger, 25 watts of output. Our V60 has some plastic on it, so let's go ahead and pop that off. And actually, I'm liking this white color right off the bat. A bit of a teaser. Let's go ahead and check out the dual screen first. I do know that with the V60, a lot of times you're going to actually get the dual screen included, which also kind of couples as a case. So go ahead and put the phone in there and check out the dual screen. Lets you know how to install it. It does have some plastic on it, so let's go ahead and take that off. So LG dual screen, you'll see it is very reflective, but it will also show you information on a display on the front. More on that in just a second. Opening it on up, there is that 6.8-inch display, which will be on the left side of your phone. And then you also have a bit of an adapter here, so you can actually charge it when it is in this case. And it should be magnetic. So if we go ahead and put it on, it is a fairly strong magnet on the bottom here. So when you do charge it, you don't have to actually take it out of the case. Also some texture on the back of that case, which will help when holding the phone horizontally, just some added grip. And now let's go ahead and boot up the V60 and take a close look at the hardware of this device. All the way around the phone is some metal, which has a very premium and sturdy feel to it. Now you do have one of the stereo speakers, USB-C slot, microphone, and take a look at that. They actually included a headphone jack. You rarely see those. Actually, props to LG for including that. Up at the top is your SIM slot and micro SD slot for expandable storage. So they're hitting a lot of boxes that people are missing lately. Now, I want to take a look at the right side and point something out. So you'll see there's a little bit of thickness to it, but it does have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. It does have flat sides here and a flat display, so no curved sides to the screen. And I do really like the rounded back that it does have. It actually makes it fairly comfortable to hold. And on the left side is your Google Assistant button and two of your volume rockers. Right side is where that power button is. Now, on the back, you'll also see the back does collect fingerprints like most glass backs as V60 ThinQ. And you do have a triple lens setup on the back. You have a standard wide-angle lens, you have an ultra-wide-angle lens, and then you do have a depth sensing lens as well. So they did not actually include a telephoto lens, which, as you know, Samsung went all in with this year. And on the front is that 6.8-inch 1080p display. So a little interesting, they're going with 1080p. That should help battery life quite a bit. It has a 60 hertz refresh rate. Unfortunately, I'm actually really bummed about that. I think most flagships should actually bump up the refresh rate nowadays. I'm going to skip through the startup process, only talk about anything that is noteworthy, and then of course connect our second screen right away. This is actually noteworthy. New second screen. I don't know why they keep calling it new, because every iteration has it. Basically, you can hide the notch if you'd like to. So as you can see, there is no notch up at the top. Gives it a bit of a chin, but it is nice to give you the option to actually hide it if you don't like that front-facing camera notch. I don't actually mind it overall. It's not actually that large. There is an in-display fingerprint scanner, so we can go ahead and set that on up. Just go ahead and drop your finger on top of it, pick it back up differently every time. I would say overall this fingerprint placement is a little bit lower than other in-display fingerprints. So I might have to get used to it, but I think over time I'll get used to it. More in the full review, of course, on my impressions. And finally, just go ahead and move it to the edges, and we should be all done. We can add more if you'd like to. I'm not going to for now. LG gives you the option to have an app drawer if you'd like, or not, similar to how iPhones are, but I do like having an app drawer, so I'm going to add that. Looks like we are all set up now on the home screen. With the phone booted up, let's take a close look at that display. Give you a closer look at the notch. As you can see, it's not that big, so you can still fit a good amount of notification icons up towards the top. Something I'm a fan of is they actually use gestures right out of the box. So if I do go into settings, I can go ahead and swipe from the side, left or right side to go back, swipe up to go home, swipe up and pause to get to the recent apps, and then you can actually swipe from the corner and that will open up your Google Assistant. So I don't really need to learn the gestures because I actually know them. And like in all unboxings, I want to go ahead and jump into settings, go into storage, and right out of the box, you will see 29.2 gigs in use out of that 128 gigs of internal. So with the V60, let's put it in the case and try out the dual screen. So you just kind of slide it on in and then push the top into the case to install it. And we are ready to go, so it does recognize it. It says move what's showing on one screen to the other to swap on both screens. So if you go ahead and turn on dual screen, go ahead and boot it on up, and there we go. So now you have two separate areas to do different things. Let's say we wanted to go ahead and go into our app drawer. Maybe we go ahead and open up the clock app, just as an example. Settings app on one. You can have two apps open at once. If you do put them horizontally, they will act that way. So if you want to go ahead and have it face down, you can have them both horizontal. LG also offers something called wide view, where you can select certain apps that extend across both of the screens to give you options. So if we have YouTube open and want to extend it, we can go ahead and do so. Now let's try it out. The dual screen has multiple functions. Now, for example, this is within the Chrome app. I can go ahead and swap screens real quick and it'll just throw the app on over to the other display. Go ahead and throw it on back. Now with that extended display, as you saw, just go ahead and select wide view here. And as you can tell, it throws it across both the screens. It does have a bit of a gap in the middle, of course. And let's go ahead and try it in landscape mode. So you can actually just use it as a dual screen and really expand it. A look at the other options. You can show main on dual screen or vice versa. You can put the main screen to sleep or turn off the dual screen if you would like. Now, one other example, you don't just have to have it like this. You can actually flip it all the way back, the case, which is nice. It does turn off that secondary display, so you can have it flipped all the way back and just use it like a normal phone, candy bar style. Yes, it is a little bit large. You do have a bigger case on it. Speaking of that case, on the right side, you'll see the right of the phone is exposed, which I kind of like because I like the feel of the metal on the phone. And the power button is exposed. Now on the left side is where those buttons are covered. You have volume rockers and your Google Assistant button. And then down at the bottom, like I mentioned, it does cover up that port. However, the headphone jack is open and those speakers. Now the speakers and headphone jack should have very good sound quality, which I'm excited about. While holding the phone like this, let's go ahead and try out that in-display fingerprint scanner. So just go ahead and set our finger on it. Like I mentioned, it's a little bit lower than I'm used to, so I'll just have to kind of adjust where I put my thumb down. Pressing that Google Assistant button on the side, you'll see you could go ahead and just activate it right away, which I kind of like that they dedicate a button to that, in my opinion, because I use Google Assistant all the time. Of course, you still have that action to swipe from the corner. Now, how does it work when the case is closed? So you can actually protect both of the displays by closing it. And then up at the top gives you the time, date, some notification icons, battery percentage as well. And then if you flip it on open, they will turn on the displays. Kind of cool with that animation, and you can just unlock your phone and get right to work. One quick test with the YouTube app open. So let's go ahead and swap screens, throw YouTube on the right side, and then we can go into wide view. And there is my face pretty much cut in half, as you can tell. But when you do put the video in landscape mode, it looks a little bit better. You can go ahead and scroll down, go through different suggested videos, and read some of the comments, which I'll be in the comments. Drop a comment, let me know what you think about this dual screen phone. But as you can see, it does kind of cut the video off just a little bit. If we go ahead and go into full screen, let's see what that does. Go into full screen and it will cut it in half right there. I don't know if it'll actually jump into full screen. You can do full screen with it cut in half as well. So with YouTube, I don't know how much use you're really gonna get out of this view. If you want to, you can just go ahead and, let me go ahead and go back and tap on this normal view, and then we are back. And finally, jumping into that camera that we do have, go ahead and switch camera modes front to back, hit done, And we can go ahead and snap a quick picture right here. Snap a photo, snap a couple photos. And then if we do tap on this icon, it will go into 2x zoom, or then go ahead and go out all the way to that ultra wide angle lens. So it does have a standard angle and ultra wide angle, and I'm glad they did ultra wide over telephoto in general. However, I do wish they had all three. The third lens is depth sensing. Switching to video, up at the top, you'll notice you can shoot in 8K if you so choose, or 4K 60, which is nice. Standard photo mode, portrait mode. If I do go into more, there is a night view. I'll have to test all these out, more to come with my full review, so be sure to subscribe so you're notified, and a manual camera mode. And yes, this does support 5G if your carrier supports it and you are in range of a tower. Anyways, that is everything I want to talk about with the LG V60 ThinQ. Drop a comment and let me know what you think about this phone. If you like the use of the dual screen to have two apps open at once, just exactly the same screen on both sides as opposed to a conjoined screen that bends. And of course, more content to come on this device and others, so be sure to click that subscribe button. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.